Finally, we are back in GPVWC Superlights. It seems like so long ago since we last turned wheels in anger, but the summer break finally comes to a close. Hello and welcome wherever you are watching around the world for round 12 of 16, getting into the deep end of the season now of GPVWC Superlights, and as I said, returning from the summer break. A little while has passed since the last round, but we are here at the Temple of Speed. The Autodromo Nazionale di Monza awaits for us tonight, and it could be a race with changeable conditions as well, so plenty to play for as we come into this evening's race. With Fabian Jungbluth on the camera, as you join myself, Ross McIntyre, and the one, the only, it is Carlos Martin joining me in the commentary box. Carlos, we've been away for too long. It's been lonely in the GPVWC world, but we're back finally. How are you feeling?
Well, we're feeling very excited. We have coming a very interesting and aggressive race such as Monza, and we have very mixed conditions right now. The track is not fully dry, although the drivers are already started to set the slick tires because there is a drying line. So it will be a very interesting qualifying where the lap times will progressively improve. So the last lap will be the most important one.
Absolutely. Got to remember as well, though, even though we're at Monza, it's still a private qualifying session, as we always see in GPVWC. So it's just you out there on the track. Even though everyone's doing laps, it's almost like everyone's a ghost. There is no aid from the slipstream, which is, of course, so crucial around here. You don't get any of those silly qualifying antics wherever everyone trundles around at 20 miles an hour on the last lap and then doesn't make it to the line in time and can't set the lap because they're all idiots. None of that. It's just yourself. It's just the car. It's just what you can do. And we are starting to see some cars heading out for qualifying there as well. Still very wet in the pit lane, obviously. Looks like the red light's still on as well. That's one of the True North cars who's just coming to the end. They'll be waiting there for a few seconds before they make their way out. But yeah, getting ready to go. Should be a very interesting qualifying session indeed. I believe we've almost got a full grid. I think we've got 29 scheduled to turn up tonight. Looks like we're missing one of the Gallery 82 cars, unfortunately. But them's the breaks. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes people aren't able to make it to GPVWC, as much of a shame as that is, as on board with Ruven Machedi, who I think is using a very old engine this evening. I will double check that, but an interesting call.
That's the fact.
Yes, so interesting call there from the team to put older engines in the car at Monza, Carlos. Surely you'd be thinking, if there's any way you want to have a new engine, it's here.
Yeah, as far as I know from Intel, it has been a mistake by the team. It was not expected to have old engines here on this track tonight. It seems like the rain is catching up again. So maybe the important lap is the one we are seeing right now. Maybe with slicks, maybe with inters. So this is going to be a big gamble.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And of course, if you go out on slicks and it's not dry enough, you risk finding yourself on a barrier and ending up near the back of the grid as well. Most people on slicks, by the looks of things at the moment, only Lucas Murno out there on inters as it stands, as the drivers starting to make their way round down to the Parabolica to start their first lap. Of course, pole position last year, Alessandro Maggio snatching it on home soil at the very death. The Italian driver in the Italian car doing wonders. Let's see if anyone else has something special like that. See if anyone else fancies being a hometown hero, maybe. Netrec celebrating their home race today with that special livery. Let's see what they can do as Machedi starts his banker. And you can see just trying to find traction anywhere. Very tentative from the German, making his way into Curva Grande for the first time in this session. Sparks billowing out from underneath the machinery. And you can still see there as he comes into the chicane, drops of rain falling. You can see it on the car as well. It looks all pretty clean though for the most part, Carlos. Again, I think we're just going to have to wait till he gets to the line, obviously, to see what the pace is going to be like. But he doesn't look like he's pushing too hard. But the lap time looks okay, and he looks pretty confident out there on the slicks.
Yeah, so far the fastest Sector 1 is from Jose Soriano, and Lucas Murno, who is on Inters, is 5/10 behind that. We will need to see how Sector 2 is, because it might be a bit wetter. And the fastest one in Sector 2 is Ruven Machedi, who has been 3/10 faster than anyone else in Sector 2 besides Patrick Magnusson, and Lucas Murno doesn't look the fastest right now on the inters, so this might be very close for the German driver who is struggling with a deficit of engine. Maybe the rain helps him tonight. We will see what lap he's able to close. Beat 2 is 24.1, and he does. 24.0 for Ruben Mechede, who right now is trailing in the championship. Scholzux P3, Magnusson P4, Soltero P5, Merlin P6, Jakab P7, Smith P8, Zingel P9, Russo P10. Pushka also with not a fresh new engine tonight, and this will be a big factor especially for the race. And now the question will be, can the drivers actually improve any further in this session?
Yeah, it might be like we saw at Spa when it was your banker lap. There was the lap that set the standard in quali as the rain started to descend in. What a great opening effort that is, though, from Ruben Mechede. Of course, as you said, Carlos, trailing in the championship now. It's a 28 gap as almost round goes Ragozza. 28-point gap between Soriano, our championship leader, and Mechede after a DNF in Hungary last time out for the German. And the fact that the team's made that error optimal, bringing old engines tonight that are going to be down on power, reliability could be an issue. They need to extract everything they can here. Well, on paper, it should be damage control. But they're looking really strong in Sector 2. They obviously set the car up to be fast through the corners rather than the two long straights, as you'd expect, being down on power. And currently it's working. We'll have to wait and see, though, if anyone's able to improve. Let's see what Ragozza does as he comes up to the line. Crosses, goes 22nd in the Gallery 82 car. I believe he's the only Gallery 82 that we've got with us tonight. There was nobody on the entry list. We'll wait and see if someone's going to hop in as a last-minute saviour. Gets it a bit sideways into the opening chicane as well. There's Daniel Scott making his way into the pits. He is P17 as it stands, with 10 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. If you are just joining us, do not panic. You've only missed the opening laps here in the qualifying session, but changeable conditions. It could be similar to what we saw at Spa a few rounds ago, where your banker lap decides where you're starting on the grid. Amari Watson starting his first lap of the session now. And I've still not seen laps from Cass Rietveld or James Knox. Knox is out on the track. Rietveld patiently waiting in the pit lane for Brem GP. Only 26 in the session so far. Hopefully we'll get a few more as we start to push onwards. But yeah, should be very interesting to see what the weather's going to do. Watson starts his lap on the soft tyres, though. And we'll have to wait and see where he can push that KV86 powerhouse machine. It looks like Patrick Magnusson was quick in the opening lap up to 4th place. We know the Icelandic driver is very good over one lap. That is not the line through there, though, unfortunately, Amari. He's gone into the gravel. He'll abandon that one and come out a little bit later. Just goes to show, though, Carlos, Monza, it's a very old-school circuit. There's not a lot of runoff, and if you do make a mistake, you're going to find yourself in the gravel.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really tight track with a lot of bumps, as we can see the car just going into the straight, wobbling up and down, and that messes up a lot with the grip. And in these conditions, that is crucial, because you normally set very stiff suspensions for this track because the downforce is so big that you need to prevent the car from hitting the ground so soon. And, well, for these conditions, a stiff suspension, of course, is not the ideal. So maybe we can see some teams actually going for this approach of a wet setup. Some teams predicted this and prepare for that. And we will see how the race develops. If the race is dry, this might, go against yourself. But if the race keeps raining, it is very unpredictable, as we have seen so far. And this can be the trend.
Absolutely. Second lap's now starting. Mechede and Soriano both not out of the pit lane for this one, so they think the rain's got worse and there's no point. And you can see James Knox is massively down this time. Zolt Shooks, 5 seconds off, so the rain is definitely not improving as it stands. Either that or he's decided he wants to take an extra lap to maybe get a bit more heat in the tyres and brakes. Is really crucial in conditions like this where the rain is falling, the track's greasy, and you're on slick tyres, that your pressures, your temps, everything is perfect so you can maximise it, or you're just going to be literally all at sea out there. Sulks moving across to the middle of the road on the run into Ascari. Interesting line, maybe just trying to clear a bit of the standing water off of the racetrack with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left to go here in qualifying. It's been a fantastic return for GPVWC the last week or so after our summer break. Bit of a controversial FS2 round. FS1 was a really enjoyable watch though. And now, of course, getting into the best league, of course, the best division in GPVWC. Superlights, SL2, call it what you want. So, no, objective, it is the best. Magnussen going slower as well, so I think conditions are worse. Although Mitchell on the inters, oh, he's not set a lap yet, that's why he's gone green. Yeah, on the inters for Luke Mitchell, he didn't go out for those first runs. And yeah, might be...
Yeah, he was in the R&D test. He was in the R&D test, I was checking on that. And there might be some drivers joining now. Of course, this is a big disadvantage because the track was better. Ooh, that was a great save by Luke Mitchell. And obviously the track conditions were better before, so it's a clear disadvantage this time to join so late into the session. His closing parabolic is so difficult to put the power down. We can see the driver aborting his attempt. We'll try to go for another one, although I think if he finished the lap he will have had another ballot attempt. And we see now, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, clearly just decided it wasn't worth it, so he'll wait to see if the conditions improve, I guess. Single making his way through Ascari now. 6 minutes left on the clock, and yeah, lap times are really dropping, Carlos. I think it may have been that first lap was the one to be on. I mean, there is a dry line. You can see it, but if the rain's coming down harder, again, it's similar to what we saw in Spa. If you didn't get out for that first run, you kind of shot yourself in the foot. And again, as you said, people will be in the R&D test as well. You have to complete that and have a car in that and get it sorted before you're allowed to enter the race. And some drivers, unfortunately, have to do that a bit last minute as Single abandons. Machete is back out. What tyres is he on? Set of inters. So interesting if he goes quicker on these. He's on his outlap. We'll have to wait and see. Just a quick update for you on the tyres. If we do run slicks here, it is the C5s as the softs, the C4s as the mediums, and the C3s as the hards. That's the softest compound of tyres available, of GPVWC branded tyres that we have here in, funnily enough, GPVWC. So I mean, I guess maybe the inters will be quicker, Carlos, but I can't see it happening unless the track really quickly dries up in the last 5 minutes. I think that could be us done already.
Yeah, the track looks more wet every time. You can see that the dry line is just getting narrower and narrower, and it will be important to see what lap times the drivers are doing now, because maybe at some point, if it keeps raining like this, maybe it's time for the full wets. It's not yet time for it, but depending on which lap times they are setting, I would say if they set something into the 129s, 29.5, we could expect some runners on the full wets.
I think that'll be very brave on the full wets. We'll wait to see what the split is for Machete, and it is 2 seconds off the pace. So at this intermediate experiment, I think we can call a bust. The track is a lot slower now than it was when the session first got started. So I think we may be seeing a lack of action for the remainder of the session, unfortunately. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. The weather gods have sent something our way, and it does make things interesting for the race as well. We weren't expecting any rain heading into this one. And, well, as you can see, expect the unexpected, I guess. But if you are just joining us, hello and welcome. Qualifying looks like it's coming to an anticlimactic end as the rain is coming in and the banker laps look like they're going to be the ones that are setting the grid. Let us know how you're feeling. Let us know if you did anything nice summer break. Let us know where in the world you're watching from and who you're supporting. I can see Alex Laho, our reigning champion race winner here last year. He's called me washed. All I'll say to that, Alex Laho, is Imola Turn 1, and we can put an end to that one. But it was a very, very good race here last year. We had the two Valley Esports cars, Maggio especially with that late pole, fighting with Laho. Laho eventually taking the win, but there was nothing in it, fighting the whole race, those three. Yeah, we're hoping tonight is a similar race. But yeah, looks like it may be a bit of an anticlimactic ending. Purgis Miram's joined in for Lunark. He'll be sending his first lap, but again, it'll probably be a little way off the pace. And Mario Watson still hasn't set a lap either. Neither has Cass Rietveld. Miram comes to the line, slots it into 24th place. We've also got Klont joining in for Drake. So I believe that's both Drake cars. Yes, because we've got Philip Pushka, a disappointing P13 at the moment for the German. But Menno out there, let's see what he can do as he comes around Parabolica to the line. Will it be 24th? Will it be any better? It's 24th. Yeah, and 5 and a bit seconds off of the pole time. Yeah, I think this session may be coming to an end. Unfortunately so, but still, again, creates interesting dynamics for the race. A few people maybe out of position from where you'd expect them. What a way to come back after the summer break. Should be very exciting. But yeah, Carlos, did you have a good summer break? Get up to anything nice?
Yeah, I had a fantastic summer break, and the best thing of it is that we are back with GPV, and that's the perfect thing, right? You take a small break and then you just are ready to go. I had very nice holidays actually in Italy.
Oh, nice.
I can guarantee you it was very sunny and very hot. But today is not that day, it seems to be. And yeah, we have a session over, basically, with a one-lap attempt that we have seen a pair of times this year already in Superlights. And we will see how the track evolves. I'm checking the weather app, and it looks like the rain is going to keep for at least 18 minutes. So that would mean that we see Robin Mulling with the soft tires. I don't think is this the tire for now, Robin, but maybe he proves me wrong, maybe not. But yeah, I'm checking the weather app right now. It says it should keep raining for the next 18-19 minutes at the very least. So it looks like it's gonna be a start with the intermediate tire for the race. The intensity is gonna be very similar to what it is now. In the server is a 5% rain intensity. So if all the cars were out, it would be drying up, but maybe tactically some drivers are not going out because they are happy with their positions. But yeah, we will see how it develops.
Absolutely. Of course, wet tyres, or intermediate tyres anyway, down into turn 1. That could be a bit interesting. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but 20 seconds left. No one's improving. It will be Machete on pole from Soriano, flipping the championship standings again after that DNF from Machete last time out in Hungary. Soriano now with a 28-point advantage in the championship fight. That's the biggest gap it has been for a long old time, as your cab doing some drifting through Ascari. Nice little save there. Good bit of car control. Have to wait what the Hungarian can do. I mean, he's not going to do much else. Is he? Checkered flags out. He'll stay in P7. He may even come into the pits. I guess some drivers may be using this just to gauge track conditions, but of course they'll have the warm-up to do that as well. So will he take the checkered, or will he just dive straight in? It's the end of the session. I know, yeah, he's going to come into the pits. Fair play from the Hungarian. And I will just say I now massively support the country of Hungary. Went on holiday there over the summer break. The best food I've ever eaten in my life. Oh, it was amazing. So I'm now a big fan of anybody from Hungary. What a country. Amazing.
Italy.
I mean, Italy's, I'm sure, is stunning for the food, to be fair. But no, I was blown away by the food in Hungary. My first bite of langosh, I was on my knees, I was crying, I was praying. So many emotions flooding through me as I was graced by the food gods. Anyway, back to the racing action. Yeah, check flag is out.
Food, of course, it's anything is 10 miles ahead.
Yeah. I mean, some of our food's all right. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. To be fair, good plate of fish and chips. That's banging.
No,
but we'll leave that there. No, it is.
No.
Carlos, shut up.
No,
it is.
No.
When it's cold and it's raining, you had a long week at work, and you come in on your Friday night, and you get your fish, you get your chips, you get your gravy in, you make yourself a chip balm. Oh, it is world class. Yeah.
So, yeah. After a depressing week, you can take a depressing, food.
Well, I tell you, we can all come and try our famous depressing food at GPVWC Day as Oscar Soltero decides to take his own life.
That's his opinion. That's his own opinion on fish and chips.
Yeah. Yeah, Soltero tried to talk about fish and chips and decided to put himself in a hospital. Fair enough. Yeah, session's over. Yeah, we'll touch on GPVWC Day shortly, I'm sure, because that was finally announced over the summer break. But that is it then for qualifying. Similar to Spa, a bit of an anticlimactic ending with the rain rolling in, so it was the bankers that set the grid And it is Ruben Machete that will be starting on pole position. Right alongside him, championship leader Jose Soriano, who's been on a tear the last couple of rounds. 3 podiums in a row for the Spaniard. 2 wins in that as well. Of course, the only non-win going the way of Norbert Jakob when we went to Spa. So it's Machete from Soriano. Zolt Schuch starts third, so the Optimal guys down on power. Incredible job to go 1 and 3. Patrick Magnussen in P4, another quick lap there from the Icelandic driver, with Soltera P5 and Robin Merling in P6. A very strong lap there for the Rookie Monsters team. Norbert Jakob and Harry Smith are on row number 4, with Istvan Single and Federico Russo rounding out our top 10. As we move further down, it's Maxime Bulio. Good efforts going to 11th with Dominic Koroshavin in P12. Philip Pushka, the German, will be very disappointed with that 13th place as Chris Gitzov is alongside him. Mike Quince does 15th for Lunark with David Krupa, who had the most unbelievable race in Hungary last time and brought it home. Didn't get in the podium in the end, but 2nd place in qualifying. Let's see if he's able to hold on to that magic form, start his own Linsanity run perhaps. He'll start 16th. It's Daniel Scott in 17th with Lucas Murno, a very disappointing P18 for the Brazilian. Giuseppe Saracino starts in P19th. Scott Mitchell-Marm rounding out the top 20. And we'll have to wait and see how many drivers we managed to get at the end of that qualifying session. Looks like 28 we've got at the moment. Mirko Licini is 21st alongside Alexander Ragozza. Mano Kont starts 23rd with James Knox in 24th. Persius Miram is 25th. And then we've got 3 drivers who did not set a lap time. That's Amari Watson, Cass Rietveld and Luke Mitchell. So they will be starting at the back of the grid for this one. Hopefully we might get a couple of other drivers joining us as well. So before we go and talk about NetRex, who we've got to talk about this week, yep, as I mentioned, GPVWC Day has now been announced after ages of waiting game and GPVWC management teasing us and not letting us know what was going on. We're heading to Liverpool, much to my disgust. I'm joking, I'm sure it's very nice there. But yeah, going to Liverpool on the 15th and 16th of November. It's for our annual meet-up award ceremony and a casting trophy, which I know both myself and Carlos are taking very seriously. We both started big workouts and no sugar and all of that to get our weight down. Yeah. So yeah, come to Liverpool, 15th, 16th November, meet everyone, book your flights, get your accommodation sorted for this year's GPVWC Day. Sure, Carlos, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, with the weight reduction, you're very serious because I started on 83 and I already went one up.
Wow. Oh, 1 up.
Yeah, not good.
Oh, no, that's not.
Yeah, the holidays. The holidays didn't go as planned, you know. But you know, it's still in the. Let's remind the date. It's in November, the 18th of November. Sorry, the 15th of November. Sorry. So I still have 2 months and 1 week to reduce weight. I think we can do a bet how much weight I can actually lose for it. I'm gonna say 4 kilos. So I'm gonna be 80 or 79, 80, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm anywhere near that, I'll be very, very happy. But of course, I'm a darts player now, so I've put on like 10 kegs in the last year or something along those lines anyway. But yeah, make sure you come down, join us for GPVWC Day. Sure, it's going to be a fantastic, fantastic event, and we really cannot wait. And yeah, can't wait to come and see you all and you know, show the European lot our wonderful British food. I'm sure Oscar Soltero, after his reaction to my fish and chips gag, can't wait to try that one. But we are in the warm-up session now, and the team that we're talking about is one that Carlos Martin knows very well in their Weatherspoons plate-inspired livery, paying tribute to the home track. It is the one and the only NetRex squad. And well, as I said, there's no one better to talk us through NetRex than Carlos Martin. So Carlos, explain NetRex to the world.
Well, I'd rather you to speak about them than myself, to be honest.
I can, that's fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, of course, NetRex, a very strong squad, currently leading in the constructors table by a pretty healthy margin, looking at about 25 points. So doing well there. The squad first joining us in 2019, of course, based out of Italy. It's your guys' home race. And yeah, it's been going well. Obviously, currently leading the way in Superlights last year. You guys were 6th with a whole host of drivers. And then a season, well, that was 2019 even, the last couple of seasons, you were down in FS1 second place in 2 seasons for you guys. So the performance is there. We know it's a strong squad and you're maybe on your way to taking a championship as well at the end of one. 4 race wins for you guys this year, all for Jose Soriano, Harry Smith. Unfortunately, luck not quite gone his way this season, but he did take his first podium last time out at Hungary. And yeah, it's... at this point, welcome to Super League in 2026, I guess, because yeah, the squad is very well run. It's, you know, a good group of people. They know what they're doing. They've got some good drivers, and they've got a nice livery this weekend. They've got a nice livery most of the time as well, and they've been doing a lot of winning in 2025. So yeah, there's my whistle-stop tour of NetRex. Was that good enough for you?
I think you didn't listen to the podcast, so I will recommend all the viewers to actually go watch the podcast we did, Kaylin Penny, Toby Davis and myself, about the season predictions and how everything went, because I mentioned that NetRex will not go up to Super League next season. There are some conflicts and we will remain in the Superlights. We will do more or less like you know, other teams that had success in Superlights, and will try to stick for a longer period of time. And regarding the championship, the only thing I can say is, since I managed NetRex, the only thing I was able to do was to finish P2 in Constructors. So yeah, if it comes, it will be very welcome. For the now, even though we are aiming for it, of course, it will be a good surprise.
I will say you do a very good job of being unbiased on commentary as well. That's not me taking the mick. Like, you do call it as the team manager, you call it as you see it, which I do very much appreciate. But yeah, you guys got a very good strong squad, and yeah, it's even if you are staying in Superlights in 2026, it may be back-to-back championships for you guys. Who knows if you're able to continue this form next year, do the Road to Formula Classic. So yeah, no, that's NetRex for you guys, I guess. They haven't paid us, honestly. It's just, again, as we've been doing all throughout this season, and you should remember that because we've done it every race, we just like to run through each and every one of our GPVWC Superlights teams and how they do. And of course, things will change next year. Some teams will go up, some teams will go down, but NetRex apparently staying the course. So just under 4 minutes left in this qualifying session. And well, maybe you could be a NetRex driver next year yourself if you fancy it, if you're sat at home and you're an aspiring GPVWC superstar, as that's a nice save through Parabolica. Yeah, head over to the GPVWC website to find out what we're all about. You can join the description links, or join the Discord links in the description. There you go, to come and meet everyone and see the community and what we do. And yeah, you can come along and race against some of the very best that sim racing has to offer. We're on slicks now, Carlos, for some of the dry, or in fact basically everybody, so I think we might be getting a dry start as it stands.
Yeah, but it looks like it's going to start raining again. Yeah, this is a nightmare for the drivers, for everyone to manage this, because it is expected light rain soon, and then to stop again, and then in 12-13 minutes to pretty moderate intensity of rain. So of course, you're not gonna start on inters when the track is dry to you. The only thing I want to talk about is Lucas Murno. He qualified on the inters, so he can have a choice of selecting tires. But given the fact that it's gonna rain fairly soon, probably for him, the advantage of being able to choose a tire is basically gone. Because in his interest, you would want to be a full dry race, even though, or a full chaos, like, or full dry or full chaos that you can take advantage of starting on mediums, or you just want pure chaos. Well, I mean, this pure chaos, like if it rains 5 minutes, stops, rains again, 5 minutes, it can go in his favor, of course, but this tire advantage that he could have, it is critical. And of course, True North has been super strong this season. They are second in the championship right now, and they are aiming to win it.
Absolutely, and yeah, that advantage is huge, of course. The top 15 have to start the race on the compound of tyre they qualified on. The only way you get around that is if the track is declared wet. So if it's raining, but not enough for the track to be declared wet, but it looks like it's going to be wet within a lap or two, starting on the inters could be a massive, massive benefit in that situation. So I'm sure the drivers will be on the radio to the teams trying to figure something out. Engineers will have their eyes, excuse me, glued to the weather maps and the weather radars trying to figure out what's going on. As, you can see the odd bit of spray getting kicked up here and there, especially as they're going under bridges and gantries and whatnot, but the track is mostly dry for the time being. We are just going to have to wait and see what the weather is going to do with a minute left in this warm-up session before we get ready to go racing around this historic circuit, the third purpose-built racing venue in the world after Indianapolis and Brooklands, the old oval here in the UK. Back in 1922 they built Monza. Obviously used to be a little bit bigger. They had the older ovals, oval bit they sometimes would go and launch themselves off the top of and things like that. But for the most part, it's all the same and it still provides fantastic racing. And it's all about speed. It's all about what you got in a straight line. The Temple of Speed, of course, has a nickname not to be confused with Circuit Assen, the Cathedral of Speed, as that's known in bike racing circles. So wrap your head around that one. But still should be a very interesting race. And again, our two championship rivals starting alongside each other on the front row. Machete, the chaser, with a worn engine, but going off of pole. Yeah, he could be in a little bit of trouble leading the DRS, the slipstream train perhaps, but as the checkered flag waves now in the warm-up session, we are getting ready to go racing here, Carlos. What are your predictions coming into this one?
Rain.
That'll do.
Which is still you know, difficult to well, no, okay. I will say what it will not happen. Snow.
Oh, I mean, it could. It could. The you know, with the global warming and all that, weather gets pretty crazy nowadays. You never know. You never know. It could start rain. It could start snowing. There could be a hurricane. Amari Watson could still win. Anything is possible in GPVWC Superlights, and it is always a spectacle to go and see. As yeah, that's quite a big one. Luckily, though, for whichever Fusion racing car that was, it's the warm-up, and you get free repairs, and it doesn't matter because you can just press the escape to go back to the pits, and it doesn't DNF you. So, yeah, that's all fine. But yeah, checkered flags out. We're expecting some rain at some point. I guess it's just when does the rain hit, and if it hits before we go green flag racing, how intense is it, and is it beneficial maybe to start on the inters if you are able to do so? So lots to think about coming into this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be no valid for people who have heart issues, you know. It's gonna be insane. It like I cannot take my eyes from the weather app. That's what my girlfriend would like me to say about her, right? I cannot take my eyes off her, but I cannot take it from the app, to be honest. There's nothing like the weather app.
See, that's the commitment that Carlos Martin has to GPVWC. His girlfriend wants to spend some lovely time with him, but no, he must see the weather and see what's going on. You can wait. Yeah, no, the weather's definitely going to come in and cause an effect. It's just when does it hit is the main question we're going to be asking. But either way, it's Monza, it's GPVWC Superlights. It's set to be an absolute firework-filled race, as it always is in Superlights, as it always is here at Monza as well in GPVWC. Of course, got the Super League guys coming out on Thursday as well. You can go watch Carlos Martin struggle around the mid-pack and then complain about it afterwards for the world to hear on his teammates' Twitch stream. But until then, you've got us here for the best league in GPVWC. No, the best league in the world in sim racing. And we are getting ready to get those red lights out and to go as we see cars teleporting back to the pit lane. The warm-up session transitions into the race. The camera operator has apparently fallen over. And from this angle, actually, Carlos, it looks quite sunny. Maybe that's just a trick of the light, but
it's no. It's a factor that it takes some time to actually update when you change session, and sometimes it carries on some absurd settings, and it takes like 20-30 seconds to actually update. So that's fine. The weather app again, it says no rain in the next 6 minutes. And after that, 50 minutes of rain. So we could go from now start of the race, then we go into the inters. It looks like it's gonna be inters and maybe a small swap to the wets, and then at the end it will dry up. So it raises the question if we finish the race on dries as well.
Potential for drama with the weather then. We'll just have to wait and see. And to see when the drops start falling, we have to wait and see what the racing gods have in store for us tonight. Because after a month's delay, the summer break comes and goes. GPVWC Superlights returns here at the Temple of Speed. And as we get going on our formation lap, let's have a run through the grid to see what we've got in store for the start of our race. Starting from the pole position, it will be Ruven Machete, championship leader Jose Soriano alongside him. Row 2 is Zolt Schukes in the other Optiminal and Patrick Magnusson in P4. Remember, the Optiminals got the wrong engines in them. They are down on power. Soltero 5th alongside Merling with Norbert Yakab P7. Harry Smith starts in P8 for Netrex with their very lovely special livery for their home race. Rounding out the top 10, it is Istvan Single alongside Federico Russo. Maxim Bulio starts in P11. Dominic Koroshav and the Ukrainian will go off of P12. P13 is Philip Pushka with Chris Gitsov in 14th. Mike Quint will start in P15, and it's David Krupa after that generational race in Hungary. He starts P16. It's Daniel Scott in 17th with Lucas Murno alongside. A disappointing result for the Brazilian in qualifying with Giuseppe Saracino starting P19, and it's Scott Mitchell-Marm in the other Kings Racing car rounding out the top 20. Mirko Licini starts 21st alongside Alexander Ragota with Meadow Clont in P23. James Knox will be P24. Moving further down, now getting to some guys who didn't set laps. It's Purgis Miram 25th, Amari Watson in 26th, Katz Rietveld is 27th, and Luke Mitchell starts P28. We got anybody else joining us? Yes, we do. We've got Wesley Stefano as our 29th and final driver. Looks like he joined midway through the warm-up session. So we're expecting the rain to start falling in roughly 5 minutes. So it'll be dry running for 2-3 laps, and then it's okay. When do you make the call to come in for intermediates? What are we expecting with that call, Carlos? Is it something that the undercut maybe works if you box maybe a lap early, or is it just try and stay out for as long as you can on the slicks?
Yeah, it's so difficult. I don't know what to say. Technically, it should start raining in 1 minute. We don't know really if it will be hard intensity or not. So just keep doing laps, I would say. Just see how everything evolves, and as you feel that you should change, to go for the change.
We'll have to wait and see. Drivers then making their way towards the grid. Machete. It's a lonely, long run from the pole down to the opening chicane. And again, both Optiminals down on power. They've accidentally put worn engines in the back of both of those. The Martex 1.6 litre that occupies the back of every Superlights car. Murno is starting on the intermediates. Now, that is a brave call. Most of everybody else is on slick tyres.
Wait.
Murno's trying to... Yeah, it was intermediates on the screen there.
Oh, wow, he is.
Yeah, that's a big call. So he's trying to let the rain come in and avoid a pit stop. Is that someone else that's coming for a set of inters as well? Or maybe a pit lane start? We'll have to wait and see. No, it's a set of hards for one of the PZZW drivers as we're all getting ready. Welcome back to Superlights in 2025. The season is coming up to the business end. There's only 4 rounds left after this one, and the championship is all over the place. It is red lights on, red lights off. We go racing. Great launch there from Machete from the pole, but already drivers behind trying to squeeze and find their way through. That looks like Soltero's got a good launch. Brief yellow flag there, 4 abreast down into the opening chicane as they bump wheels, but looks like it's all clean so far. Nobody's done a Liuzzi yet. Nobody round as we now head to Curva Grande. Still 3-4 wide. Chaos as someone's into the gravel there and pushing their way back round. That may have been one of the Kings Racing cars, I believe. And now down into the second chicane. Looks like Machete still leading. Magnussen's up to second, though. He must have had a great run out of the opening chicane. There's Shooks under big pressure from your cabin. The rain now starting to fall as well, Carlos. We could be seeing people box at the end of the opening lap.
No, it's very soon. It's very soon. And you don't want to pit, and Murnau will have a huge advantage. It will still hold like this for quite some laps, maybe 2 or 3, and you want to take maximum advantage of this. But yeah, Murnau just got it right, it seems to be, and we will see when is the right moment to come into the pits. Magnussen did a huge dive into turn 1, and there was a contact between Soriano and Soltero. So Soriano trying to avoid Magnussen, the contact, and then by trying to avoid it, he had the contact with Soltero, which ended up losing a position to Norbert Jakob. We can see a lot of scrapping battles right now, which is the important thing to do right now. You want track position. Ruben Machete defending from Patrick Magnussen, who goes for the P1 right now. Oh! And he almost loses the car. He goes completely sideways into turn 1, and it's very important now to pull the pace right now, as we see a yellow in sector 1 is Itzvan Single, who completely jumps the chicane, and he surely will need to give some places back. We see also Federico Russo also jumping the chicane. And we can see a lot of fighting here, and we see Magnussen just defending for his life. They actually lost 9/10 already to Zolchuk. Zolchuk, who was 1.2 seconds behind Soriano, and now he's just right back in the diffuser from the Netrox driver. And this is moments of tensions. Everything is like in the edge. When are you supposed to pit? We see also the True North going to the overtake. Norbert Jakob overtakes the Optiminal driver, who has a lacking engine for tonight. And yeah, the rain is increasing massively. It's right now at 7%. So any upcoming lap could be the one to actually pit.
Does anyone bite the bullet at the end of lap 2, or do we stay out? Magnussen leads here in Superlights. What a start the Icelandic driver has had. Looks like we're all staying out at the front of the pack for the time being. Magnussen's nearly broken the DRS to Machete behind. DRS will now be available as they start lap number 3. And Magnussen as well, fastest lap of the race. That KV86 car looking like an absolute rocket ship early doors here at Monza. Someone's getting shoved off the racetrack there at the back of your picture. Up front, that was Single trying for a move. I think it was Rogota who got shoved out of track limits, but he does get the move done. A nice move there against James Knox. Rogota up to P16 now. There's Lucas Murno. He's dropped to P20 on those intermediate tyres, but again, the rain's now starting to fall, so he won't have to make that pit stop, but he'll be hoping the tyres are in good enough form, as that's Knox back to the inside at the chicane. That's a wonderful move from the Englishman up the inside at the De La Roja chicane, and he gets it done as they now fly through Lesmo number 1 and then Lesmo number 2. Yellow flags in sector 2. That'll be why Purgis Mira was pirouetted down at the chicane. He'll get going again at the back of the pack, but looks like Clont and Russo even further behind him. In fact, Magnussen then, his lead now 9/10 of a second on the run down to the Parabolica. Rain continues to fall here in Italy, and again, the question I'll ask it, does anybody dive into the pits at the end of this lap out of the front runners, or do we stay out and stay green, as that's very aggressive onto the AstroTurf there. Rain's reducing, in fact, so maybe they can stay out and get on with it. Lap 4 of 44, and Magnussen almost out of DRS range from Machete behind. That'd be a huge moment if he's able to break that early doors.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It's very difficult to break down from this position. The slipstream is super powerful. So as soon as the DRS comes into play, he will have big difficulties to actually pull away. So the only ways to do it is by just using a lot of P2P, leaving the drivers behind, and then take advantage of that. I was watching the onboard from Soriano, and he has a slightly bent wheel, as we see a move from Rogoza trying to overtake James Knox, substituting today for Gallery 82. And that comes into play because the damage in this car is very sensitive. And yeah, the rain completely stopped, and it looks like it was the wrong decision from Lucas Murno, Federico Rus, and Menno Clont, who Lucas Murno is right now in P22. It looked like the right decision for a brief moment, and then it was not. This is how crazy the weather is right now.
Well, the Brazilian took a gamble, but the house always wins. Looks like Inter's to start was the wrong decision there. And I guess maybe he'll wait to see if the rain does start to come down heavier again, or if he will just concede defeat and box for a set of slick tyres. Lap 5 then. Magnussen still about 8 tenths ahead of Machete, who could be under big pressure from Soriano, but Soriano decides he's too far back and will hold station for the time being, but they're getting very, very close. The two championship rivals down into the opening chicane. Maybe you'll get a good run into Curva Grande. You can launch a move at the De La Rocha chicane if you're brave enough. We've already seen it this race. Maybe something special from Soriano, but no, too far back once again. So very cagey early doors here at Monza. Everyone holding their cards close to their chest, unless, of course, your name is Patrick Magnussen, who's come out of the gates flying and is doing a great job leading. He's never finished higher than 9th in GPVWC Superlights, and he currently leads here in Italy. What a story it would be if the Icelandic driver is able to hold on and take the checkered flag at the end of this race. But there's still a long way to go. We'll have to wait and see. Coming to Ascari now. Anything from anyone? No. Still just sitting there waiting, biding their time, waiting for that DRS zone to use that push to pass to propel yourself in front of your rivals. We're starting to see a train breaking away. The top 6 we see there, that's down to Solterra and then Harry Smith a little way back from these guys. So 2 trains starting to form. There is Solterra at the back of this leading pack. There is Harry Smith. He's kind of sat in a bit of no man's land at the moment. He's not in DRS range of anybody, either in front or behind. So could be quite a lonely race for the NetRX driver. Took his first podium of the season last time in Hungary. Soriano once again pokes a nose, but nothing. I wonder, Carlos, do you think he's maybe just trying to fill the mirrors maybe of Ruven Machete as Bulio looks but doesn't find anything? Do you think he's just putting the pressure on Machete, seeing if he can maybe force him into making a mistake?
Well, at the beginning of the race, if you do a completely dry race, you actually want to preserve the tires. So maybe this is what Machete and Soriano are doing right now. So it could be very well the case, and yeah, that's why maybe Magnusson is leading now. But if it rains from any time right now, you want to have track position. Because otherwise the pit lane can be very messy, and in these conditions you normally want to be P1. You don't want to be P2 or P3. In a dry conditions you probably want to be in the position that Machete and Soriano are right now. But right now that you don't really know what's gonna happen, yeah, you just want to be leading. And the rain is expected back in 8 minutes. It should last a good bunch of 30 minutes. But as we have seen so far, there is not much reliability by the weather app. So we will see, as we see Soriano fairly close again to Machete. But it looks like he's not closing in the last stages of the straight. So he's either lifting a bit or he's just not willing really to attack Machete right now.
Absolutely. Saw new fastest lap there from Zolch Sukes, was still, of course, a little way off of the lap record in Superlights. That's a 1:21.1 by Chris Shepherd a few years ago when the regs were ever so slightly quicker, of course. And it's still early in the race. It must be said, conditions not great. Cars full of fuel, drivers playing the patient and waiting game. Previous winners we've had here at Monza, Alex Laho last year. We've also had Owen McGorgy, Jake Dennehan, Matthew Williams and Leon Bock in years go by. So some big names able to master this historic circuit. We'll wait to see who is going to be adding their name to that list at the end of this one. Soriano with the DRS into Ascari, and it is raining. Yeah, you can see it there now on your picture. So the rain is back, but it won't be enough to jump into the pit lane this time. We'll just wait and see. Again, I think it's very much a case, Carlos, of when do you come in? When do your rivals come in? Do you decide to stay out and do an extra lap, or do you box opposite to the driver in front potentially? It's all to play for here in Monza. Magnussen rounds power qualifier.
Is in danger. I think Machete is in danger now.
Yeah, I think Oh, there's... Oh, no, I'm big. I thought there'd been an accident, but I just couldn't see everyone because they're in a train. You are right, the Machete's in big danger. Soriano's going to draw to the outside. Look at the overspeed. They could be getting Magnussen 3 wide as Magnussen cuts across. That could have been an airplane crash. Soriano will cut across the opening chicane. He may have to give that position back, but Magnussen will have the momentum. Machete might slide through as well. That's also invited your cab into the equation as well, as they're now really desperately scrapping on the way into the Della Roja chicane. 3 abreast nearly once again with their contact. There is contact. It's going to be Soriano, the big loser. As there's a front wing. Whose is that? It's Shooks. Shooks' front wing's getting dragged across the racing surface. The Optimal loses out. He'll hold up Soriano. He'll hold up Soltero. And it's chaos. Disaster for the Spaniard.
Yeah, this is terrible for Optimal chances, but now Solshooks will try to play the team game here, but it will be very difficult for them to actually keep up, actually lets him go. And right now, Soriano is in a very difficult position because he lost the DRS from all this train and will somehow need to recover all this disadvantage. And there was contact between the Netrax driver and the Optimal one, so there might be the chance that Soriano's car is even further damaged by this.
Yeah, absolutely. So chaos here. Zolks will be diving into the pit lane, of course, for a new front wing. Magnussen's now got a bit of lap traffic to contend with in front. Of course, there will be blue flags, but that may give him the DRS as now your cab decides to try and pull the pin and gets squeezed onto the AstroTurf there by Machete. We're really starting to get the elbows out now. It's early doors, and I'm not saying it's head loss as there's smoke. Someone going straight on. That may have been the lap traffic. Yes, it was. That's one of the Fusion Racing cars, I believe it may have been, as we now head down to the Della Roja chicane once again, but it's getting crazy out there. We know that Magnussen, who's controlling the race at the moment, undoubtedly the most aggressive driver we've got on the grid in 2025, and I know it causes a lot of upset. I know he's had to have words with the DC a few times when he's been involved in incidents. We saw it there, nearly another big one as well, as he cut across the front of Jose Soriano a lap ago on the front straightaway, and maybe it's just forcing other drivers to get a bit aggressive as well to try and match his style, but he does still lead. We're about to go on to lap 10, still very much dry running here, although we're getting flirtations of rain. It's teasing us. We know it's coming. It's just when does it commit to falling properly? We'll have to wait and see. Is anyone going to fancy anything into Parabolica? You'd think not, because it's smarter with this whole modern woke DRS nonsense to sit back and just get it on the run down into the opening chicane, of course. So we'll wait to see if anyone's going to have a go into the Rettifilio chicane. Looks like your cab may have another very big run using that DRS, using the push to pass. Does he pull out? He'll have to go the long way around because Machete also got a great run on Magnussen, and there is contact. Machete clips Magnussen, and Machete goes round. Machete spins. He takes out your cab with him as well. And our 2 championship leaders are in the doldrums early doors here at Monza. Falling down the order goes Machete. That promotes Soriano back into the podium places. But in a race where Machete needed to maximize his output, another critical mistake from the German, and you have to start wondering, Carlos Martin, is the pressure of the championship fight starting to get to the Optimal driver?
No, not really. They are fighting hard and so on. This is not pressure. This is just very intense and hard racing. I don't know who is, if it's someone at fault. This is not pressure. Ruben is doing fantastically. He just missed out the braking point because you're on the slipstream, and then contact. He gets hit from behind from Jakab. So yeah, this is really just a tiny bit misjudgment. There is a slight move from Magnussen on the braking, even though he's fully ahead, and then here Norbert doesn't have the required overlap to go for it and just takes out Ruben. I don't think it's pressure, it's just they are racing so hard. They understand how critical this moment is for the race, and they're just going for it.
Yeah, I didn't see the contact at first between your cab and Machete, so not a mistake, in fact, from Machete, and you could see why he would have cut across. It looked like he was clear, but what a shame for the German. And now that's very sideways from James Knox on the exit of the left-hander. Yeah, no, it's a long way to go now for Ruben Machete. And, well, if they finish as they do, the championship swings massively, even more so in the favor of Jose Soriano. So let's all take a breath. Let's calm down. It's okay. We're all still breathing. Lap 11 of 44. Magnussen still leads. He has now got a 1.6 second advantage ahead of Oscar Soltero, who's been the big winner in all of this chaos. Was that someone off into the gravel I just saw there potentially? I think that may have been Chris Gitsov. Yes, it was. He swapped places, I think, with James Knox. But yeah, Soltero's been the big winner amongst all the chaos. He's gone from 6th to 2nd by just being there. So fair play to Oscar Soltero. Of course, a race winner this season in Canada. Jumped in his first Superlight start, took the victory with a fine performance. He'll be looking for another one as well, but Magnussen outside of DRS. Yellow flags in Sector 3, now it's gone, and that's why, that's Machete who's gone again, and he's gone very late on down the meter. Oh, there's chaos, there's another car round in the background as well. What on earth has happened? What on earth? I'm struggling to process.
That car is very sideways.
Yeah. So is he dropped it on his own? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Oh, it catches the curb and then it just gets it on the grass and it spins around. And then did someone just spin in sympathy in the background? So he lost it really. Yeah, someone just went around in sympathy. So that's a separate incident.
Yes. But does someone contact him? Because the car looked very... Yeah, he looks sideways. Yeah, you can see there is a small bend on the steering wheel. It's not huge, but yeah, that is for sure affecting roofing, and it's probably from the contact from Jakob. And these conditions that are very tricky are definitely not helping to the German driver.
Oh, Machete's day goes from bad to worse. You have to feel for the German. But now Jose Soriano, if he finishes even in the points, let alone where he is currently, will take a huge advantage in the championship with only 4 rounds left to run. Magnussen still leads, but I think he's made a mistake somewhere, because Soltero and Soriano are now back within DRS and hot on the tail of the Icelandic driver. And I think he may be coming into the pits. Yeah, he is. Magnussen in. That can't be for intermediate, surely. I wonder if he was just massively overusing the tyre to try and keep at the front again. He's such an aggressive driver, both in terms of getting his elbows.
It's indoors!
What? Wow!
Yeah, well, it's raining very hard. No. This might be the call. It's raining very hard right now. It's 12% rain. So it might be actually the call right now.
This is a race-defining moment. Your race leader, Magnussen, comes in for Inters. He's the first driver to come in off of the slicks. We've lost a whole host by the looks of things. I think we've got 5 DNFs. Yeah, we do. So somehow we've lost loads of people. Machete also in. That's not a surprise. He's well down the order. He may as well. We've also got Giuseppe Saracino coming in. We've lost Cass Rietveld, Single, Shukes, Russo, and Rigotta. 5 DNFs already on lap 13 of 44. Mitchell surely getting repairs because that car's been sat there a long old time. So now we wait to see who follows Magnussen in. Is that the right time to make the call? Has Magnussen done something inspired or was it too early? Yeah, keep your eye on the sectors.
Yeah, 29.7 for the leaders, and we will see what time are the intermediate guys doing right now. It's very hard to tell, but probably Oscar and Jose, they actually need to pit before they have any intel from what the Patricker is doing right now. He's gonna cross the sector 2 very soon, so we'll...
Soltero in.
Soltero in. Magnussen is 29.9, so he's not yet faster than what is currently with the dry tires. Soriano was faster in Sector 2. We will see Sector 3, 29.1 for the Spanish driver. And we will see what is the actual timing, because it is very hard and it's still touring pretty hard, to be honest, 11%. And we will see Magnussen, what is he doing? 29.1. He's exactly doing the same sectors as Jose Soriano right now.
And he comes out in front or behind Magnussen to Soltero, showing us he's on the softs. I think we might just need to wait for that to update, because as there's a coming together between Quint and Buehler, they're fighting for 4th at the moment amongst all the chaos. And there was a big coming together into the De La Rocha chicane, and Quint's taken advantage of that one. So yeah, we'll wait to see if the tyres update for Soltero, because I'd be very surprised if he is on a set of the soft tyres.
Magnussen is slower for now. Magnussen is slower than the dry tyres right now.
Maybe he is on the dry tyres then as Murno gets aggressive, defending there from Robin Merling, shoves him almost onto the grass on the run into the Della Roja chicane. In front of them, I think Stefano ran off the track and kicked up a bit of gravel because that's now inviting Murno back in again. Those inters have been on since the start of the race. They've been doing dry running. They must be absolutely shot. As there's Harry Smith.
Faster. Now they're faster with the inters.
Yeah, so okay, so we'll wait and see. So these guys still staying out at the moment. Someone's diving in the background. So Soriano is in. So Jose comes in for Netrex. Surely a set of inters. Yes, it will be. So all three of our main contenders so far in. We've also got Mike Quint in for presumably a set of the green-walled intermediate tyres. Yes, it is. We're seeing there David Krupa comes in. He was on the mediums as well. Interesting to start on the mediums when there's a threat of rain. And that's just taken a moment to update. So Magnussen is in the net lead of the race and gets past Soriano as well. Does Soriano pip Solterra out? Yes, he does. So the leaders very close together, but Soriano has jumped in front of Solterra. So they're 4th, 5th, and 6th. Pushka, Smith, and Bulio are yet to box. So Soriano on the inters now in P5. And Solterra, yes, that has updated. So Solterra now, it is displaying he's on the correct tyres, the intermediates. Yellow flags in Sector 2, and they're not going away. Now they have. So there was a problem for somebody, perhaps Bulo. Yeah, Bulo's come together with Knox again, I think, or with Smith even, or Span, because they've dropped a lot of time.
I think.
Okay, so Bulio's finding that is there damage maybe, because it looks like it's going quite slowly as we're now seeing the rain really begin to fall. It looks straight, to be fair, on the run into Ascari, but oh yeah, big understeer. Oh, that's surely the rain now coming in. Bulio struggling through there. Now is the time to go onto intermediate tyres. We'll surely be seeing, but yeah, look at Pushka. He's crawling around the Parabolica. So these guys have left it way too late for the inters. Lap 15 of 44. They'll come in. Magnussen will retake the lead of the race on the intermediate tyres. But he has, of course, got Soriano and Solterra right there with him for company. Your cab's not too far away as well.
Yeah, they were losing about 4 to 5 seconds already this lap, so the right laps to pit probably was like 1 or 2 laps ago. It was in a really gray area. As we see, Jose Soriano trying to go for the move. Patrick Magnusson breaks very late into turn 1, and we can see, oh, Maxime still keeps on track. So you want to really overtake him now. You don't want to be behind him in Sector 2. This might be a great advantage for Patrick Magnusson as he's going for the move now. It looks like the rain stopped? It looks like the rain stopped.
What?
Wow.
Has Bulio played a blinder by staying out, or is the rain coming in? And no one knows. Magnussen gets through.
Oh!
Solterra does not, as they're all getting all over the place and tripping over each other and onto the grass. Oh! Goes Solterra, gets shoved off by Bulio.
Oh, wow.
He will somehow keep it on the black stuff and squeeze by as your cab goes through as well. Unbelievable car control from the Spaniard, and he stays in P3 as well as Bulio on those shot tyres continues to drop down the order. Here comes Norbert your cab now to get onto the podium places, and the Hungarian moves up into 3rd. So it's now Magnussen, Soriano, your cab, and Murno, your top 4 in the fight for the win as we're starting to approach half race distance, and the rain has stopped falling. So what do we do now? Do we keep going round? Does Bulio do something special? Still on the softs, there's yellow flags flying in and out of existence. Scott Mitchell Marm's been in the pit lane for a while. Who knows what's going on? The weather's causing chaos here in Monza, Carlos.
Yeah, it's completely chaos right now. It's expected to rain anytime soon again, but it's very difficult to predict. And the thing for Maxime is that even though he's on soft and probably it will be for dries in a couple or 3 laps, his tires are basically gone for the softs, and he will not skip two pit stops, but he will skip 1, let's say. And well, of course, this will play into him if these conditions stay like this, but as I say, these kind of races are so difficult and so intense for every single driver.
Absolutely. Bulio, of course, qualified P11, so they are gaining ground if this is the right call, but the pace is really not there. Those tyres have fallen off the proverbial cliff, and you can see the difference in pace between themselves and the likes around the leaders that went through, of course, on those fresh inters. Quint catching Bulio at a fair rate of knots as well, so Bueller will be hoping, as it's now started raining again ever so slightly, that the rain stops, and just when they can't go on any further, it's time to come in for a fresh set of slicks. But we'll wait and see, because you can see there's a few drops on the camera. And look at how much time Quint and Pushka have gained on Bueller in half a lap. They've gone from about 5 seconds back to all over the back of the Fusion racing car, and this should be a very, very easy move, probably for both of them. Down into the first turn as Murno gets a bit sideways, coming through the parabolic rear of the car, moving from underneath him. That's going to allow those behind to have a run. Harry Smith, James Knox, surely will be having a look. Smith certainly is, although he then ducks back in, because Murno then got this slipstream of Merling in front, and Smith decides not to go, as there is contact as Merling gets sideways, forces there Murno across the chicane. This is going to allow Harry Smith to surely slide through both of them, and just behind as well, James Knox is waiting patiently to see if he can get involved, as we're nearly going 3 wide through Curva Grande. What on earth is this race? As it is Harry Smith up to P9, Knox gets through Murno. Oh no! He gets touched around. James Knox gets sent around at the De La Roja chicane. What on earth is going on? I can't contain myself. It's absolutely incredible action. It's chaos. It's wet weather brilliance. And it's all happening here in GPVWC Superlights. Knox doesn't lose too much time with the half spin. He'll stay in P12. But it's just chaos, Carlos. What's going on?
Yeah, we haven't even reached half mark of the race. This is just completely crazy. As we see Patrick Magnusson going completely sideways, and it's important to remind he is on a 2 or 3 lap disadvantage of tires, and with wet tires it might not seem too big. Although we see here Jose Soriano going for the move in the inside, goes completely sideways into turn 1, gets bumped from the KV86 driver from between turn 1 and turn 2, and now he will need to defend this position. They are probably both using push to pass to defend this, and I don't think Patrick will have a chance going to turn 3 and 4. He brakes late, but he doesn't make it, and Soriano actually, I think he went a bit wide, and they touch again, but it still makes it stick. Oh, and Patrick goes very defensive from the true north and almost pushing him. Oh, he's off! He's off! What is going on? Patrick is completely off the track now in Lesmo 1. I don't have air to actually speak. Please keep going on this, Ross.
Oh, they've just declared a day of national mourning in Iceland. Magnussen spins on the run until there's hyper-aggressive defending. Does he touch a white line, or does he just get it? I think he just gets it wrong into the first Lesmo. Oh my word, this is unbelievable racing. It mirrors a touring car race. They're all bouncing off one another like it's going out of style. What's happened to Maxime Beaulieu as well? This is into the second Lesmo, and the rear just goes, those two. Oh! Wow! Okay, wheelie there from whoever ran into Maxime as he went around. And almost getting into contact with someone else. This race is just insane. I don't want to see the crash damage bill at the end of this one. I think that was Mitchell Marm that Beaulieu hit. It was either that or Purchase Miram, because Mitchell Marm's now out and Miram suddenly a lap down and would have come in for damage repairs. So Beaulieu now will probably come into the pits, because you'd expect that Fusion racing car is going to be a bit bent, surely. And yes, Beaulieu is going to come in for some repairs, and surely a set of the intermediate tyres. Oh, and gets it all locked up on the way into the pit lane. It's going to be very wet down there compared to the rest of the track.
Now, it's very easy to miss it in these conditions with the slick tires. Unless you prepare it very well, you are very close. He didn't, so good for him.
It did come on at a very aggressive angle though, so I think he's just killed about half of his virtual pit crew. But
that's fine.
Anyway. Yeah, it's all right. They're not real people, so it doesn't matter if you run them over. Let's all take a breath, okay? It's lap 20 of 44. We're not even halfway through this race, but we're okay. We're fine. Soriano, your cab, Solterra, your top 3. Magnussen is now down in 4th, but 5 seconds off this lead battle. And of course, he'll probably have overheating tyres after that trip into the gravel. And he's under a bit of pressure, actually, from Pushka behind. He's been very quietly scything his way through the pack. Pushka was well down the order in qualifying, P13 for the German, but now to P5 and surely P4 soon, because he's all over the back of Magnussen. Magnussen, but we'll get no moves from our front three coming down into the opening chicane, although there will be a bit of traffic. That's Bulio coming out there. Yeah, there will be...
Drake car.
Oh, it's a Drake car.
Might be Menoclont, maybe.
Yeah, it'll be Clont. Oh, it is Clont. Oh, okay, so Clont must have come in quite late as well then. So Clont then goes a lap down. That's going to hold up second place and third place of Yacab and Solterra as well. Actually, no, they've both got through by the looks of things. Yes, they have. So Clont just splits the pack up a little bit further though, so we can all just have a breather. There is Pushka all over the rear of Magnussen, who doesn't defend this one. Pushka with the inside line, side by side into the De La Roja chicane. That's a really nice move there from Philip Pushka to get up into fourth place, and again having a very strong yet very quiet race is he, and moves up to fourth place, and with this pace could be looking at a podium in a couple of laps time maybe if he's able to continue to push onwards. So Magnussen, after that dream start and leading the first, decent portion of this race, drops down now into P5. And yeah, let's just all relax. Everybody just, I think we certainly need a bit of a relax in the commentary box, because that 5-lap period was crazy.
It looks like Jose is pulling away from Norbert Yacab. He already opened a 1.6 second gap. It looks like the rain is gonna stay for quite some minutes now. It's gonna stay for 15 minutes for about this amount of intensity, which is about 5%, 6%, as we see Saracino now DNFs. We also, I'm not entirely sure when Zolchuk's DNF'd right now. Like, the race has been so hectic that I forget a lot of things that...
Yeah, we appear to have potentially lost Carlos. Oh, no, there he's back. He is back. That might have been me. Sorry, carry on, Carlos.
Yeah, sorry for that. It looks like Soriano is pulling away, and some DNFs are happening, and we will see, because the range should keep for 15 minutes, and in 15 minutes it could be about 10, 11 laps, and that opens the range for a last stint on softs.
Absolutely. So we'll wait to see what the weather does, but right now very much intermediate running here. And yeah, Soriano is starting just to put the hammer down a little bit and pull away. Gap's now up to 2 seconds. Yes, Yacab and Solterra are fighting, which won't help that, as there's a bit of traffic there for Soriano, as one of the Fusions meets the barrier hard on the exit of Ascari. Who was that? There's Wesley Stefano, who's come out of the pits. It was Purchase Miram, in fact, in the Lunart car. That's the second time I've done that. I don't know why I keep confusing the Lunart car.
It was a lapped car. It was a lapped car. And yeah, I think Soriano's car is damaged for that as well. And I don't know. It's hard to judge without the replay, but it looks like, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if he hit him. I don't think he hit him. I think he just lost it on his own. Let's have a look. Oh, if he did, it was a glance. He was going anyway, so that won't be a penalty or anything for Soriano by any means. So at least there's that.
Gap. Oh, as we see Quint fighting with Patrick Magnussen out of turn 2, they head into curve. He makes the overtake fairly easy. He has way more top speed than the KV86 powerhouse. Probably that car, after so many contacts he had, is a bit damaged. And he's opening the gap again, Soriano, towards Norbert Yacab. So clearly he has a bit more pace. And the question is, as I was mentioning, if the rain stops in okay, my API just collapsed and just went to... That was an interesting one. If it stops raining in 15 minutes, it opens up the possibilities to end the race with softs. 11 laps is fairly doable to finish with. So we will see how everything develops. Any chance for everyone, because 3 or 4 second gap in these conditions, if you are brave enough to pit first, it will give you the chance to actually make it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll wait and see. Magnussen, got to remember that his tyres are 3 laps older than anybody else's out there. or anyone running at the front anyway. So Lucas Murno's still on the same set of inters that he started on. He's taken those a long old way, so fair play to the Brazilian up to P9. But yeah, Magnussen, we saw how easy Quint made it look as well when he got through. And Quint on, I believe, the freshest set of intermediates we've got out there, aside from people who've had to come in for damage and whatnot. So yeah, so the tyre difference there would have been massive. So that's why Quint made that look so easy. And again, quietly up to 5th place. Yes, he boxed very late and got a huge overcut. But Quint having a very, very strong race alongside Pushka. Magnussen now losing out to David Krupa as well. So the Icelandic driver's woes go from bad to worse. The pole slides up into P6. Does Magnussen have anything to respond with into Lesmo number 1? No, maybe into Lesmo number 2. But I think Magnussen starting to lose a lot of pace now. He's really struggling on those tyres. Look at how he's wrestling the motor car underneath him, trying to find any ounce of grip out there. And
now that you mentioned motor car, maybe we should change to American accent for one race only.
I mean, to be fair, there was a conversation for a while about maybe having an academy race on an oval. So if that does happen, and I'm praying it happens, because it would, with all due respect to the academy drivers, be hilarious. I would be more than happy to do an American accent on commentary if they were at an oval. Yeah, so Will Panisi, if you're listening, give us the oval academy race. You know you want to.
No, don't do Race of Champions. Do Indy this year.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good idea actually. Yeah, been off the Race of Champions. Let's just have like a 100 lap race at Indy, and let's make it. No, I mean I would say, oh, that's a little bit deep there from Krupa, but he's not under any threat as there's yellow flags in sector 3. Yeah, he's got going again if it was Koroshavin.
Yeah.
What I say we do is we have like a big race at Indy as there's more yellow flags in Sector 3, and that is Koroshavin, I think, who's come to a halt because he's dropping the... No, he's back. Okay. Well, Koroshavin's got a dodgy incident then by the looks of things. It's P18 at the moment, is the Ukrainian driver. Yeah, as I was trying to say, yeah, let's spin off Race of Champions. Let's have an Indy race for the people that would be in Race of Champions, and then I think we should do like... Not a short track, but not someone like Martinsville, but like someone like Richmond that's quite short, and just have like 50 cars out there. You could just race in it no matter who you are. It would be hilariously bad. Like, you know in iRacing when they have their week 13 races and it's just everyone smashing into each other. We should just do that, but on R Factor 2, basically. Anyway. Yeah, if you're listening, Will Panisi, or anyone in the management team, yeah, do that, and then give me a raise, please, as well. Anyway, back to the action. Lap 26 now of 44. Soriano's advantage up to 3.1 seconds now. The Nerex driver, the championship leader, is starting to pull away here. Yacab under pressure from Soltero, but the Spaniard is not close enough to make a lunge on the Hungarian as it stands. And then the likes of Pushka, Quint, Krupa, all a little bit further back. So it's very much become a race of 3 up the front as it stands, but Soriano edging that gap away further and further every single lap. He's just able to find a little something else that the others haven't been able to. And it doesn't look like it's... No, it is still raining, but not very hard, Carlos. So I think it may just be a case of, you know, just stick on the inters. We might, maybe, if it dries up a bit, see someone gamble on slicks at the end of the race, but I think we could be on the inters for the remainder of the way.
Not sure. The track, I'm checking the lap times, and the track is very close to be in the crossover point for slicks. It's not there yet, but we could, because the intensity is not too big, it's just 2%, and at the current rate of drivers that we still have on track and everything, the track is drying up. You can see here the drying lap and the drying lane. So I could foresee someone trying to gap. Okay, we have one driver already on the dry tires. It's Perseus Miriam, and he's not lapping that slow, but it's not the greatest measures. He's on hards, which I think in these conditions is not good because you cannot put them into temperature. So it's very hard to actually, you know, tell if that is the right play to do. For sure, from this distance, you would set mediums or even softs because the tires are able to last. As we see, Harry Smith going for the move on Patrick Magnussen for P7. and this is important points for Network CP in the fight for the championship. And probably Lucas Murnau, who is 7 seconds behind, will need to try to catch up this distance to Patrick Magnusson to keep on the fight with Netrex in the championship, which they are right now P1, P2, and P7 and P9 respectively. Machete has been recovering so far. He was down to P23. He had to P2 repair and so on. He's 30 seconds off from the leader, but he's P13. And I would say there are very good chances that he can at least finish 10th. And considering everything that has happened to him, considering that he has a 40-ish% engine, when you normally raise the weakest engine at 50-ish%, taking a 10th place, yeah, it's not ideal for the championship, but it still is saving quite a lot.
Yeah, so we'll have to, yeah, just trying to wrap my head around the whole kind of situation of the race at the moment, to be honest. I mean, as you said, Bichetti has been through the wars in this race, and the last couple of races as well. That DNF in Hungary really was unfortunate and unideal in terms of his championship standings as well. And if we finish as we do, the gap's going to be, I think it might be 51 points, doing some quick mental maths. So Soriano's going to have, you know, over 2 race win advantage ahead of Machete in the title picture. So yeah, it's really not been going the Germans' way the last couple of rounds. Just to hear what happened to Scott Mitchell-Marm. He DNF'd a little while ago. Technical issue with the car. He's saying that he came in for his pit stop, and while he was sat in his pit box, the engine just shut off and wouldn't restart again. So that's a real shame for him. Some reliability gremlins, clearly. Of course, you can't do the whole thing they do in motorsports nowadays, where if a car breaks down, you just plug a laptop into it and Control Alt delete it and it works again. You can't really do that in sim racing, unfortunately. Yellow flag, sector 2, got as quickly as it arrived.
I think it's Harry Smith.
I believe it may have been Smith. Yeah, he's dropped a couple of seconds back behind Magnussen. So yeah, Smith must have gone round or something like that. We're going to replay here of this incident. Let's have a look. So coming into Lesmo 2, did he just get it wrong? And oh! That'll be what happened.
Oh my god!
Wow, that's as close as you like. So that'll be what happened. So Magnussen actually was the beneficiary there. And yeah, Menno Klont, the lap car, just going around in front. And it's a free position for Patrick Magnussen. He'll be saying thanks very much, Menno. And Harry Smith now has got to do all of that again. Your cab's come in.
He's risking
it. Okay, here we go. We are so back, boys and girls. Norbert Jakab, the Hungarian, we know he's not afraid to take risks. And he's stuck a set of slick tyres on, which should just about take him to the end of this race. He'll come up P10. We'll keep an eye on the sector times. But immediately in turn 1, he doesn't look like he's properly struggling. So that's a good sign. But this could be another race-defining moment. Oh, I'm jumping up and down for joy in my bedroom as your cab's going to risk it to the inside there of Merling. That's a brave move there. Curva Grande. He'll have to be laid on the brakes. No, doesn't need to be. Into the De La Roja chicane. He's up to P9. Is that inspired Carlos Martin? Are we going to see people following him in and coming for slicks at the end of this lap?
Well, it could be. It could be very well the case, especially from the front, from Oscar and maybe from Soriano as well. So yeah, this could be a trigger for sure. And now his teammate, that you can clearly see it's faster. Yeah, his teammate will just pull away probably.
Soriano's in.
Yeah, Soriano's in. Yeah, yeah. The sectors. Yeah, he's 1 second faster than Soltero, but he was not faster than Soriano in sector 2. Well, no, yeah, he was 7 tenths, actually. Never mind. I said nothing. So, yeah, the soft tire right now is the way to go. And he should still be ahead, but not by a big margin.
We'll wait and see. Where is your... Yes, this year. Cab's a little way back from Soriano, but of course, Soriano did have a 3-second advantage prior to the pit stop. Soltero stays out. So... we've now got, we've got a lot of guys coming in behind, to be fair. Magnussen, basically everyone from Magnussen down to Mitchell all came in at the same time for soft rubber. So we're now going on to slicks, but of course what we've got to remember as well is it's still going to be damp off the racing line, so going for a move is going to be difficult. Is that James Knox trying to get a move done on the pit exit? That'd be amazing if he tried that on Ruven Machete. Machete, yeah, again, you're seeing them pulling straight back onto the racing line out of the pit exit as soon as they're able to. Of course, you can't cross the white line to get onto the racing line, so they've got that extra grip where it is drier than it is off. As we're seeing others coming in as well. Mitchell's in, Bulio's in, Daniel Scott in as well. So this lap, surely the likes of Soltero, Pushka, Quinn. Yeah, Soltero comes in. So the last of our 3 leaders, he'll come in for a set of softs. I'm assuming that Pushka and Quint will follow him into the pit lane as well. Car goes up on the jacks. Pushka also comes in. Quint in as well. And then it's just David Krupa and Harry Smith to go. And then everybody will be back on slick rubber. And yep, Krupa comes in. Harry Smith, I'm sure, will be doing the same as well. Yes, he does. So that puts Soriano back into the race lead. Your cab will be second. Soltero's lost a lot of time staying out for that extra lap. He's gonna, yeah, he's about 2 or so seconds away from Norbert Yakab. So Soltero staying out that extra lap has cost him about 2 seconds overall. So, I mean, Carlos, these should go to the end of the race, right?
I don't know. My weather app just crashed and my API is toasted, so I don't know. I mean, it was as useful as not watching it, so we can see Chris Gitsov going to try to the move. And that's what you should not do. Go off the racing line in a drying track. Because, yeah, there is grip, there is grip, there is grip until grip end.
Yeah, Chris Gitsov learning the hard way. It's still a little bit damp off the racing line, but gets going again. He hasn't dropped any places out of that one. Just a little bit of time, unfortunately. We have got a couple of guys out there on the mediums. Quint's on mediums, Knox, Scott as well. So you wonder maybe if there is a little bit of doubt if the tyres will last. Again, we don't know what the weather's doing because Carlos's useless Spanish internet's crashed. So, yeah, we will just take it as it comes. But I'm assuming people pretty confident it's not going to rain anymore. As there we see Ruven Machete holding off James Knox again. He just needs to finish as strongly as he can. I think top 10 is the objective. It's Robin Merling up in front of him. So we'll see if Machete's able to try and slide through. Of course, DRS will be activated once again. And you can still see, yeah, so you can still see it is damp off of the racing line. And there are still puddles in a few places. So it's not totally dry just yet.
Yeah, it's not totally dry. You need to be very careful with the racing line. I don't know, I was turning crazy. I thought I was seeing already some drops of rain. That would be insane. As we see Patrick Magnusson as a classic beginning of the stint, being able to pressure for position, and he goes through the outside of turn 3. They try to squeeze each other to get the maximum advantage heading into the braking zone. Braking in the wet is not going to be the amazing thing, but Patrick makes it stick for now, as long as their softs stays alive.
Yep, nice stuff there from him. And he'll push onward. So Magnussen, 6th place then, again leading most of the race earlier on. As he gets sideways and onto the gravel, that will be Harry Smith sliding on by. Oh no, it won't be. That's a lap. No, it is a Krupa even. Krupa. I can't. Yeah, my brain's just not working apparently. Yeah, Krupa goes up to 6th, then Magnussen has to do that all over again. And you do got a feel for Patrick Magnussen. I mean, he's still on for his best ever Superlights result. He's never finished higher than 9th in GPVWC Superlights. And again, was leading most of the race in the first half before it all kicked off around about lap 20. We'll have the DRS and, of course, a bit of push to pass on Krupa down the front straight. So
should be
knowing...
easy.
Yeah, and knowing
GPVW is the slowest car on the field. They have 0 body drag upgrade, and it's gonna make it stick even before the braking zone. And I think, oh no, he missed the braking point. Oh no, he jumps the chicane. He needs to concede the position, and all this is just generating their losing time to Harry Smith. So it's just opening the chance for him.
And again, it's just, you know, you miss the braking point slightly and then you're on damp track and then you're struggling to find grip. It's so many different things going into it right now for Patrick Magnussen as he runs quite wide on the exit of the De La Roja chicane as well. Doesn't get into the gravel though, crucially. And, you know, it's probably difficult. I can understand if he's feeling very frustrated, you know, and you just got to feel for him, unfortunately. So Magnussen will push on, and he'll have to set up that move once again. But, yeah, having to settle for 7th place at the moment. As I was saying earlier, it'd still be a best ever Superlights result for him, but when you've led for the first half of the race, there's Soriano, fastest lap of 125.326. He's got a 5.5 second advantage now. Yeah, I can understand if Magnussen is frustrated and maybe a little bit upset. We'll watch as they go into Parabolic. We'll be close again to the PZZW. Again, slowest car in a straight line we've got in the field, even though Krupa has recently decided he just wants to be one of the best drivers the world's ever seen and is just doing generational stuff and outdriving the car massively. Magnussen to the inside then a lot earlier. Murno fastest lap of the race. Oh, that's really aggressive cutting back across from Magnussen. He really wanted to be on the racing line for the braking zone where it's dry. Gets it done though, up to P6 for Magnussen. Let's see if he can push on. As you said though, it's all of that is invited. Harry Smith now only 1.5 seconds away from the back of Krupa, so maybe Harry Smith can get involved in this fight as well.
Yeah, and there is an important thing. Murno is catching on Smith. Murno was 7.8 seconds, but he got benefit by pitting 1 lap earlier than Harry Smith for the dry tires, so he won a lot of time on that. And this is the fight for the championship as well. Even though they are in lower positions compared to their teammates, this is as important as the fight for the win tonight.
What a crazy, crazy race we have had so far here this evening. What a way for GPVWC to come back after the summer break as Soriano, the first driver now to break into the 124s. We've had rain, we've had chaos, we've had heartbreak, and it still pushes on for 10 more laps. And all of this, by the way, Amari Watson's up to 14th. Go on, son. Get them points in you, you absolute legend. Yeah, lap 35 of 44. Soriano now is really pulling away at the front of the pack and starting to hone in and put his... yeah, he's thinking about putting his hands on the trophy already, is what I'm trying to say. He's got a huge advantage back. As there we see Krupa. Does he have a go? No, not quite close enough. He'll stay in the tracks of Patrick and Magnussen. Again, he needs to be wary if he starts to fight with Magnussen again. It's just going to invite Harry Smith in, and Harry Smith in the net wrecks. I'm sure he'll make light work of both of these guys, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on his pace as they come to the De La Roja chicane, turning in, bouncing over the sausage curbs. Quite aggressive on the curbs despite the rain that we've had, but hasn't seemed to cause any issues on this occasion. Before coming into the Lesmos, slightly banked through their yellow flags out in Sector 3 and not going away either. Now they do go. I think that may have been Koroshavin going around. Yeah, Koroshavin's dropping down the order and he's out of the race. Dominic Koroshavin, the Ukrainian, makes it 21 remaining, unfortunately. And that's a real shame. He's been struggling a little bit tonight. Soriano's going 2/10 quicker lap after lap now, Carlos. A 124.6. Gaps up to 6.4. He is flying as the Spaniard.
Well, this makes you wonder, was this his pace on the dry? Because it looks like nobody else is able to match him, really. He's just pulling away. Soltero is slowly catching on Jakab, but he's not being able to do it. And we see Murno already in a striking distance of Harry Smith. And this fight is very important. Lucas Murno will go for the move. Harry doesn't defend, stays on the outside and lets him go. Maybe Harry understands that with taking more points than them is just enough for tonight. But yeah, it's important. Every point counts for this championship.
Yes, it very much does.
Oh, he goes back? Ah, no. I was just hallucinating that he was coming back for it. But yeah, now the question is, can Lucas actually catch up on Magnussen and Krupa and take even more points?
What a race it would be for Murno if he was able to do that after struggling massively in the
Inters.
Yeah, starting on Inters, struggling massively in qualifying by his standards, then starting on Inters when it was dry and running around with them for ages and they were absolutely ripped to shreds, and now in a very respectable points-paying position. This would be a huge result for him and a great drive. We don't do driver of the day here in GPVWC, but I think it's safe to say he currently has my nomination, as that's Jakab and Soltero almost coming together down at turn number 1. Soltero goes straight on, he'll let Jakab back through, but the fight for second has now absolutely ignited, which is going to hand even more of an advantage to Soriano. Murno sets the fastest lap of the race as well by about half a second with a 24-1 dead. So Murno's now got a lot of pace on board, and yes, Soltero and Jakab now starting to get the elbows out as well, so could be getting a bit physical as we start to get to the dying days of the race in this fight for second, Carlos.
Yeah, Jakab is struggling. Jakab is struggling. You can see how close Soltero is in all the corners. I think he's gonna make it now even. He can just make it before Ascari, but I think Oscar maybe is gonna, he's gonna stick behind. He's gonna take the better chance at the end of the straight. Just go for it again, and yeah, Jakab needs to defend this for his life.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting very, very tricky out there. Of course, Soltero, who we're looking to try and set the move up, down into the opening chicane. That is the best overtaking opportunity here at this racetrack. So we'll wait and see if he's going to be able to do that.
Too far now, but yeah, I think maybe Jakab just realized about this and is starting to use the push to pass, but I think it will be just the fight for the podium, and the difference between P2 and P3 is 4 points, and this is big time.
Yeah, it's going to be too far back for a move down into turn number 1 on this occasion, but we'll still have the DRS, we'll have that push to pass and allow him to draw a little bit closer and figure out what's going on. So, down we go to turn 1. Yep, Soltero too far back to launch the move. Oh, that's very wide and very deep from Jakab there as they bounce over the curbs. And Carlos, did you think Jakab had just crashed there or something? 'Cause that was a very aggressive noise.
Wow, no, because he had the terrible exit and Soltero was going for the move in a very unconventional corner, and I wonder if Jakab actually wanted to let him go, because, you know, the DRS is very powerful and so on. I don't know, this is strange to actually pull the move in such a corner.
And I tell you why I was confused. It's because I was actually accidentally watching the broadcast, because I was reading through the broadcast chat, which is obviously about 20 seconds behind, and I just forgot that I was seeing what was going on in the live chat and wasn't actually watching the race. So, you know I was asking for a raise earlier. In fact, fire me. I'm terrible at my job. Let's go again, shall we then? Jakab too far back for the attempt to get back up into second place, but he will just sit there patiently. Lap 39 of 44. We've got 5 to go here at Monza. Jose Soriano, advantage now 10.3. Obviously, pending a disaster, should I say, he's all but won this race. But the battle for second place rages on. Pushka 6.5 back. He's too far back to try something, even if he does manage to gain. Unless Jakab and Soltero maybe come to blows, perhaps. But as it stands, it is Soltero that has the slight advantage, makes it a Spanish 1-2. Superlights has been dominated by drivers from the Iberian Peninsula in 2025, it must be said. And Soltero, yeah, he's got a good advantage into Ascari, but again, Carlos, it's all about just setting up that move down into turn 1 and getting that DRS, getting that push to pass, and getting the launch into the Rettifilio chicane. Yeah,
it's important to see the P2P management that has been done until now, because there's still quite some laps to go. You cannot just burn everything now. You probably need to burn everything right at the end when the last chances are coming. And the other fight that we're foreseeing now is Murno catching up on Krupa and Magnusson, which he's slowly catching. We'll have DRS the very next lap, and we can see some action there as well. We see Soltero, fastest lap of the race. This means that he's using the push to pass right now. He was 7/10 faster than Jose Soriano, and with the push to pass, it's important that if you use it, you actually can clear the driver behind, because otherwise you're just dragging him into you and you're setting yourself in a vulnerable position for later on.
Absolutely. So we'll see if anyone's able to try anything in the dying laps here at Monza. We've been served up an absolute classic on our return to GPVWC racing tonight. As it stands championship-wise, Ruven Machedi in P10. So he'll be picking up 6 points. It'll be a 19-point swing the way of Jose Soriano. So that'll be a 47-point gap between them. So not quite 2 race wins, but still a very healthy advantage for the Spaniard going into the final 4 races of the season, where of course we'll be heading to Mexico, Singapore, Brazil and Abu Dhabi. Singapore, of course, I'm sure will be absolutely chaotic, as it normally is in GPVWC, and I'm sure we'll get some great racing elsewhere as well. So Soriano is really starting to stake a claim on his championship. Of course, he is the winningest driver so far this season. He's got 4 as it stands. The nearest one to that is 2 for both Machedi and McCab, and it could have been even more without 2 violently brutal disconnects in Saudi Arabia and in Spain the round afterwards. As Magnussen and Krupa are coming to blows. Magnussen nearly goes round. Krupa nearly goes straight on. Lucas Murno watches on, maybe thinks about making it 3 wide. Is going to think about trying to make it 3 wide, but there's nowhere for the Brazilian to go. How close do you like it? Does Murno get him? Surely not, as they come into the De La Roja chicane, and there is contact. Murno goes round, Krupa goes round, Magnussen clipped as well. 3 cars into 1, does not go, and someone, oh my goodness me, Magnussen, no front wing as he ran into Krupa. Was Machedi? Yeah, Machedi's right there as well. So Machedi's going to get through Magnussen, whose day goes from amazing to awful hero to 0 to find. What a shame for him. It's going to be a free position for Machedi. If there's damage to the 2 in front, there's going to be P1, P7. Oh, God, I don't even know anymore. Just check and flag it now. End the season. Oh, Monza's been chaos. It's been absolute chaos. So these guys come to blows.
I think Krupa squeezed Murno, and then all this rejoining was just hectic between all the 3 cars, and Harry Smith just took all the 3 places here, and I will see it from his POV, and this is probably when you are driving and you say die. I've done it so many times, but yeah, it's just it's just that chicane was not designed there. Okay, that chicane was not designed there. So, it's opportunities for Machedi, because for sure Krupa is damaged, and probably he can take 2 extra points that were not expected by him. As we see also James Knox fighting with Robin Merling for the P10 right now. And yeah, for Patrocor, just DNFs. It was a dream that started leading the race, and as always we see there are some contacts here between Robin Merling and James Knox, as we see fastest lap of the race for Menoklant, which is in P20. That doesn't give any extra points this year, as we see David Krupa trying to defend his position with a very slow top speed PCCW. Just for the culture, the PCCW has less top speed even than the Optiminal with a very used engine, so that's how slow that car is on the straights of Monza, but it's very good for tracks like Hungaroring, where he just comes from doing a phenomenal P2. Ruven Machedi will have just now the opportunity to do the overtake on the Polish driver from Warsaw. He's gonna try it. He's not gonna make it easy. David Krupa goes to the outside, maybe goes for a late dive. He thinks about it, but then doesn't commit to it. It looks like Krupa didn't go very hard on the braking, and then we see Robin Merling losing even more positions, now fighting with Mirko Lucchini for P11. And actually they will go side by side to turn 3 and into the braking zone of turn 4. Does the switch back Mirko Lucchini for having the inside into turn 3. They're heading into turn 4. Robin Merling has now the inside for the first part of the chicane. Brakes very late. We will see if Mirko can actually do the switch back. He will try. He's very close, but he will not do it. He will not make it stick for the Lesmo 1.
Well, we're on to the final lap for our race leader. Meanwhile, we've not said much about him in the last 10 laps because it's been so chaotic. As Soriano gets a little bit sketchy through there. It looked like actually. There's back to Machete. Oh, still can't get over what we just saw though at the Della Roja chicane. Just 3 cars into one doesn't go to it. To quote touring car great John Cleland, the guy who designed that corner should be taken to a dark room and beat about the head. And that is all I say of that incident.
Peace, love. Peace and love, come on.
Peace and love. Peace and love, apart from the guy who designed the Della Rocha chicane, because it is just awful, isn't it? Anyway, Machete's got the run with the DRS, with the push to pass to the outside, gets Krupa before he gets to the corner, so the damage limitation from Machete continues.
What's
again.
Krupa is close.
He is close.
He had very bad
yes.
exit. So.
Again, Machete starting from the pole position with a worn motor in the back of the car by mistake, and then just getting involved in a lot of chaos. But up to P8, that's pretty good going. As Krupa thinks about it there. Machete has to go defensive into the Della Rocha chicane. Please, not more chaos as they do come together. Oh, guys, come on. It's getting silly now. It's getting really silly. It's the last lap of the race. Krupa's down to 10th. Soriano wins here in Monza, gets his advantage up to 45 points. But, well, man, it's just getting a bit silly. Jose Soriano wins. Oscar Soltero will bring it home in second, with Norbert Jakab rounding out the podium places. 3 great drives from 3 great drivers up there. But tonight has been interesting to say the least. It's been absolute chaos. We've seen amazing performances turn to nothing as drivers have got caught in incidents. Mike Quint, I've got to say, what a P5 from that man. A great drive, a huge gamble on the strategy, paying off. Fair play to the Lunark driver. I think that it probably is his best finish of the season. But yeah, what a race. I'll say that much as the rest of the drivers make their way to the make their way across the line. It matches Quint's best finish actually. He finished 5th in the second round when we went to Istanbul. As Machete does bring it home in P8. So if I just do some maths very quickly, so that is a 17-point swing now in the championship towards the way of Jose Soriano, which puts it up to 45 points, so I was right earlier when I said that. As Maxi Bueller comes over in P16. But yeah, Carlos, that was an interesting race, I'll say that much.
I need something to relax to be able to sleep tonight. What a race! I've got a red card by my neighbors for shouting so much and everything. But just to sum up the race, Soriano wins, Jakab salvages a P3 for True Notice. We see the last drivers crossing the finishing line right now. And Machete, very importantly, is able to manage a P8 with a very difficult car that, with a lack of engine. So from order, Soriano P1 wins in the Italian Grand Prix. Oscar Soltero P2, Norbert Jakab P3, Philip Pushka P4, Mike Quinn P5, Harry Smith P6, Lucas Morno from P18 starting on Inters P7, Ruben Machete with so many incidents entering to the pits to change the front wing P8, James Knox P9, David Krupa P10. Mirko Lucchini P11, Omari Watson P12, Luke Mitchell P13, Robin Merling P14, and closing the points, Prix Kitsop for Alpha Sierra Sim Racing. Maxim Bulio with an extravagant strategy on keeping on the drives finishes P16, Wesley Stefano making debut for PCCW P17, P18 for Daniel Scott, and the last driver closing the race, Menno Klon in P19. DNFs, Patrick Magnusson,
he did the race.
Who led the race for a big amount of time. Miriam, Koroshavin, Saracino, Scott Mitchellman, Breedwell, Zingle, Zux, Russo, and Rogoza.
It's important to note Miriam did actually DNF. He was a couple of laps down. It's just that he finished. He completed less distance than Magnussen did, I guess. But yeah, what a crazy race. And we saw a lot of chaos a week ago in the FS2 at Monza as well. And that one, I feel it was really, really good and entertaining, and then towards the end it just got spoiled a little bit for me, and I apologise. I got a little bit angry there at the end, but still an interesting one to say the least. And yeah, should we get on with our interviews, Carlos? At least, who would you like to speak to first? I'll let you pick.
Yeah, I don't know. Shall we get Oscar, who finished P2 tonight?
Yeah, let's drag Oscar Soltero in. He finished in P2. Oscar, if you can hear us then, you got a little bit lucky with that one because everyone kind of crashed in front of you and you slid through, but still a very, very solid drive and a great finish in the end. How are you feeling?
Good night, guys. Yeah, I'm feeling great after this one. I'm really happy with this P2. To be honest, I wasn't expecting to be fighting for a podium. I think it's by now at least. Well, from the races I've done, this is the one that I practiced the least for, so happy with P2. And yeah, everyone crashed ahead. I don't know what happened there. And managed to avoid it, and yeah, happy with this one.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very... Oh, sorry, Carlos.
Yeah,
no,
what
go
happened
ahead.
ahead was pure mess ahead, in the middle, and at the bottom part of the grid. It's a race worth rechecking. But yeah, Oscar, today you grabbed the P2, which is a wonderful result. And what are your expectations now coming until the end of the season? Now that you are racing in SL2, you established yourself in GPV. What is your target now?
Well, I guess to keep scoring podiums and try to fight for some win. Because I really think I should get a win from here to the end of the season. And yeah, I mean, as you know, it's obviously I'm not fighting for anything in the championship, so I'll just try to have fun and to make the most out of the races.
Yeah, and is there any plans for next season already that are in sight?
I don't know. You tell me, I guess.
I'm just a commentator.
Yeah, I'm joking. Nah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I would like, of course, like everyone, I guess, that wants to race next year and is racing Superlights. I want to race in Super League as everyone. So we'll see.
Yeah, so Stayman, Oscar Soltero wants to race Super League. That's head news, I think, for today's newspaper. So yeah, Ross, do you have any other questions for that?
Just how are you feeling looking to the final 4 rounds, Oscar? Do you think you're going to be fighting for wins and podiums again, or are you just looking towards just kind of maybe getting the season over and done with?
Well, that's the target, to fight for wins as everyone here, and for podiums, and I just hope I can stay consistent and finish all the laps, so I can learn, because I'm new to this game, and still I'm not really used to it, especially when it starts raining and have to make the calls with the strategy. You saw today I went into the pits too late for the softs at the last stop, at the last pit stop, and that's because of inexperience. So I just try to grab practice and experience and to stay consistent.
Yeah, absolutely fair enough. Still a very solid performance and a great result for you tonight, Oscar. Thanks very much for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Unite.
Great to hear from Oscar Soltero. I know that normally you cab to get a podium, but Reuven Machete was waiting first, so we'll speak to Reuven Machete next. Reuven, I mean, in context, it was a good result and a great comeback drive, but again, just things not going your way tonight. Well, what happened out there?
I to be careful what I say. I don't want to be too insulting, but the racecraft of some drivers are really poor, and just using push to pass in the end to have, after 15 laps, maybe 5 seconds left for the rest of the race, just to defend the position, which is really annoying. Then the incident with Jakob, where it was a chain reaction basically. That he basically went outside. I was focused on particular because I hit him slightly because he was He was moving under the braking. I hit him slightly. Then the cap was on my outside, and then the contact was inevitable. Really, I don't know what to say else. It was a great drive, great pole. With a 45% engine, I have nothing more to say.
Yeah. Let's talk. Oh, sorry, Carlos. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to cheer up Ruben because, the engine here. Well, we know in the calendar if there is a race that you have to have an engine, is this one. Taking pole in these conditions was massive. Surviving in those top spots in these conditions was massive. Yeah, there was some incidents, and you still drove like a champ. You were able to recover and to go up to P8 and salvage some points. And I know today it doesn't look the brightest of things, but in retrospective, if you end up challenging for the season, you will remember it was thanks to what I salvaged from Monza, because already with the engine in the dry would have been very difficult, and you just pulled an amazing performance, and people is not aware of how difficult it was.
Well, thanks for that. The words that I just said before, I will not take them away because it's my opinion in the end of the day, and I didn't insult it. On the fact that P20, I think it was down to P23 and then drove to P8 with a 45% engine. I think it was one of the quickest in the rain, and I had hope for today that it was raining. It did rain, and I think P2 was definitely on the cards. In the dry in the last stint, I was just too slow because of the engine, of course, and wrong wing setting. But yeah, in the end of the day, I had amazing pace. Was probably a really good drive from my side, and yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those days, I guess.
Yep.
And just kind of looking forward to the final 4 rounds of the year, Ruben. Obviously, again with the DNF last time and in the chaos this time, there's now there's a pretty big gap up to Jose in the championship. What's the objective moving forward? Are you just going out just to maximize as many points as you can get and just do everything you can?
So I know before the race already that I will need to win this one because I knew that I'm gonna miss Singapore because of a class trip. And yeah, the championship is done for me, I think. If Soriano has suddenly 3 DNFs, maybe, but then also Jakob is in the prime position. But yeah, it's just about maximizing everything, seeing if we can do something in this constructor still, which will be very hard, but you just need to have one really good result, like Optimum they had in Jeddah, and then we are back.
Oh, fair enough. Carlos, anything to say before we let Ruben get on with his day?
Ruben, take care, and just don't think too much about it. You are an amazing driver, and you are and also a leader, not only a driver. So take proud of this and keep going, keep try harding, keep doing what you know best, which is racing super fast.
Thank you very much, Carlos. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks very much for talking to us, Ruben. A difficult night tonight for the German, unfortunately, and that's big news as well that he's going to be missing Singapore. The championship picture now looks really difficult for him, unfortunately. I know he said he's going to hold his tongue. I'm going to hold my tongue as well. I don't have anything else I can really say about that while we're on the air. Let's speak to our final interviewee, Norbert Jakob. Norbert, great result for you out there today. Pretty good drive as well. You must be feeling pretty happy.
Yeah, thanks guys. Actually, I'm a bit disappointed because I had so much more potential in this race, but it was a pure chaotic race. Not just in terms of weather, but everybody was driving insane, and also I lacked a bit of pace towards the end. So yeah, it was a bit frustrating because I know that, well, if I want to have any chance for the Drivers' Championship, I need to be ahead of Jose. And now he outscored me by 9 points. So now the difference is almost 60 points. So the game is nearly over. But yeah, P2 is definitely in striking distance for the drivers, and yeah, we are still fighting for that constructors title.
Absolutely. So, it's still, you're still there, and it's still there. And, as you said, fighting for the Constructors' Championship as well. But yeah, a bit of a chaotic race, it must be said. But you look like you managed to avoid most of the incidents. Was there any, any particular moment maybe where it looked a bit sketchy, or were you just trying to run your own race, really?
Actually, there was a lot of cases when I was like, yeah, my race was almost over. So my tactics was that in the beginning of the race, we thought that we would have rain in like 3 laps. So we were even concerned if we should start on the inters or softs. And we split the cars. Lucas started on the inters. I started on the softs. I don't even know if it worked out for him because I was only concentrating on myself. But the tactics was that until it's dry, drain push to pass, get past as many cars as you can. And actually that's what I tried to do. And suddenly I found myself fighting for almost the lead. I think I wasn't leading the race at any point. I think the best one was like P2. But yeah, then I had an unfortunate accident with Ruben. Yeah, that turn 1, turn 2 chicane was a very sketchy point of the track, because especially on the wet, I think nobody knew in what part of the track how deep can they brake, and of course everybody tried to brake as late as possible. And yeah, that situation was a bad one. I discussed it with Ruben, so yeah, but I still feel really bad for him because I basically ruined his race, and also I got damage from that. So I actually tried to convince myself that my lack of pace in the dry towards the end was due to that. The damage, but yeah, and also I found out in the end that we ran a really high downforce setup compared to the others. So yeah, at least now I understand why we lacked a lot of straight line pace as well.
Carlos,
Yeah.
any questions?
Well, the only thing I can say from Jose, I know that he was running anyway in the wet rear wing 1, so he went minimum downforce, and yeah, because the conditions were mixed, he, the difference in pace in the dry was not that big between rear wing 3 and 1. I don't know what you used, but it was fairly
3.
close. Yeah, it was like 1.5 tenths or so. It was not
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah. But then in the wet you were winning like 5 tenths or 6 tenths, so it was a big time. And as it looked in practice that it was drying up and then not raining again, they decided to go rear wing 1. But then, it was a fairly interesting rain, stop, rain, stop, rain, stop, which as a driver is insane. And still, with the damaged car and the incidents, you were able to bring a fantastic P3, which is not easy. There is so many good competitors. Norbert, you're doing an amazing championship. We know your background, and yeah, the fight is on for the drivers and the constructors, of course.
Yeah, also I would like to congratulate you on race win on home track. That's something that, well, it's your team still, so you deserve the congratulations as well. But yeah, I was actually hoping that, well, throughout the season we had this curse about home races for teams and drivers. Like Canada was really bad for us, Hungary was bad for me, Germany was bad for Ruben, Great Britain was really bad for Harry. So we were actually hoping that maybe Italy will be bad for Netrex, but you actually proved us wrong. So you can be really proud of yourself.
Well, it was well, we can talk this in private. I don't I don't want to hold hostage Fabian and Ross here, which are probably willing to eat some fish and chips. You will understand if you rewatch the broadcast. We were chatting about many different BS during the warm-up and so on. You will have fun watching the broadcast, but regardless, I know you expected more. You have the quality to expect more, and that's normal. But congratulations anyway, because lasting in a race like this, it has to be applauded anyway.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you very much, mate, for speaking to us, and once again, a strong result there for Norbert Jakab. And yeah, that is a good point, at least, Carlos. At least it was a home win for Netrex, so there is at least one positive to take from that race. But yeah, that brings an end to a pretty crazy evening, if you ask me.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it certainly was. Thanks very much for joining us for Superlights. Of course, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time when we're heading to Mexico as we get into the final quarter of the season. Only 4 races left to go now, and Jose Soriano is really stamping his claim on the championship. Of course, Thursday night will be the Super League race here, hopefully a little bit less intense than that one. So same time, same place, just on Thursday. And come and see the best of the best in sim racing, fight it out. But for us here at Superlights, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care.
Bye!